Hi everybody, welcome. On the 13th of June, we've got a new moon in Gemini at 22 degrees and 44 minutes. I love the way this is nicely balanced with this energy of Gemini, which is twos of everything. I find that people with a lot of Gemini in their charts often have two of different things. They like having twos. So what is this about, this new moon? Well, we've just completed this full moon in Sagittarius at the end of May. And Sagittarius is all about getting a broad overview of your life, getting up in a big aeroplane and being able to see things from a higher and broader perspective. And on the other hand, with Gemini, you're looking now from a much smaller perspective and becoming much more aware of the balance or imbalances inside of you. So the air signs, Gemini for me is the air sign that's about speaking, communications, words, ruling the hands, the arms, the lungs. Libra is all about balancing relationships, and Aquarius is about finding balance between our individuality and our commonness, our community, and how to bring that together. And all the air signs work on the mental level. So this is a wonderful opportunity, with it being in Gemini, for observing the balance within you. So first of all, the breathing. Can you become aware of your breathing? It's quite something to be really aware of it in your daily life. Might be easier when you're meditating peacefully and things are quiet. But let's say there's a lot of things happening. Can you still be aware of your breath? And also we're looking at the balance inside of you mentally. How are you talking to yourself? At this time we've got Mercury in Cancer, opposite Saturn in Capricorn. So Mercury being ruler of Gemini, wherever Mercury is, shows us how this new moon is going to be coloured. So it's coloured by a sensitivity. Mercury in Cancer. It's coloured by remembering to be gentle with yourself and with others. It's finding that balance between the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the inner and the outer, the boundaries and the non-boundaries, the seen and the unseen. First, it's looking at it inside of yourself. How are you talking to yourself? Are you being nice to yourself? Or are you saying very stern, Saturn in Capricorn type things? Sometimes with this energy of Mercury in Cancer, it can bring up emotions from the past, issues maybe to do with your mother or nurturing. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when somebody is particularly kind to me or tender to me, sometimes I want to push it away, or it's so heartbreaking in a way, it's like so heart-touching. It has to touch that place inside your heart. So can you do that for you? Can you remember to do that for others at the time of this new moon? Can you remember also not to get caught up in emotional dramas? Venus is square to Uranus at this time, so it's important to give relationships plenty of space. And I'm reminded with Gemini of a butterfly or a sparrow. Little sparrow looks around, ponders the area, tip, 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 and off it goes to something else. Doesn't get deeply embroiled in something that it gets stuck in. Yeah, you don't really see sparrows stuck somewhere, do you? So that's really the opportunity with this new moon in Gemini. Another thing that would be great to do, because the advantage of Mercury opposite Saturn is it gives you an ability to focus the mind. So it's very good for studying, for learning a language. It's also very good for focusing your mind on a deal, really getting clear, because Mercury and Saturn in these signs can be very good in business. So you may really get a new business deal here going at this time. And keep in mind, it's about wise communication. Gemini rules our words. It's the ability to see other people's words and notice your emotional reaction to them. Mercury in Cancer, ouch, ooh, sensitivity. And how can you communicate maybe to somebody who you feel has hurt you in a way that's not going to hurt them back and then create a big drama? So these are all interesting questions to look at. Gemini needs variety. So you may get a variety of relationships, including the one with yourself, to look at the words you're using, your response to the words, and how you are able to heal using your words. I'm reminded of a quote, I can't remember who it's by, but sometimes the hardest people to love are those who need it the most. So I'm always trying to be aware of that, especially if I run up against somebody who's rude or bad-tempered or something. I'm trying to use the Saturn energy, which is to be the adult and not go into the tantrum of the child. So it's that balance once again. So it's about thinking with your heart. That's how I see this new moon in Gemini. So, in true Gemini fashion, I'm going to improvise a musical piece that I feel gets to the essence of what this new moon in Gemini is wanting to communicate with us. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening. I'm trying to be aware of my breathing. I don't know if you're noticing that, but I am doing my very best to be aware of it. And maybe you can do the same right now as to whether you're breathing, which I hope you are. Remember, Gemini is also the trickster, the joker, so it's also a time with sensitivity, but you can also be humorous with people as well. I'm just going to add one last little thing, because Gemini, I have a Gemini friend and I ask her how she is, and she writes back off and says, very dangerous to ask a Gemini how she is, because I get a very long email with all the news. Okay, that's how it is, which is great. And now I've gone and forgotten what it was I wanted to share with you. So, as it is with butterflies, on to the next flower. Let me play you the piece of music. And here is your improvisation for this new moon in Gemini. I've no idea what's coming, so I hope it will surprise and delight you. Thank you.